many conflicting thoughts about last night's episode. If you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen me retweeting things from every side of theories and because I am so conflicted. So I tried to organize my thoughts a bit, but it's still a mess. If you are new to this channel, hi, I am part of the people who believes that John and Sherlock are going to be romantically involved eventually in the series Sherlock. However, I totally believed it was going to happen in this episode, but it's just been a mess. So I sorted my thoughts in 3 different explanations. Number 1, which is kind of crap. Johnlock is canon but not explicit. A lot of things would point to that. I mean, the entire series 4, the entire series, but especially the series 4, has hinted more and more towards John and Sherlock being romantically involved, and they talked about love, and they talked about making a move before it's too late, and then in the latest episode there was Mary literally saying, "I know what you could become," and it ends with them basically raising a child together. The problem with that is we deserve actual representation. We shouldn't have to settle for headcanons and looking into it, and we shouldn't, not after this many series. We deserve something that's obviously canon, and we do not deserve to be made to look like fools and feel like fools, because right now, myself and all the people who believed this was going to happen just feel crazy, like we're looking too much into it. Except we are not. I still believe that the TGLC approach of the series is the right one. And I don't know what the hell happened. I don't understand, and it's not fair. Explanation 2. This entire thing has been the biggest queerbait on all of British TV. Basically, what does queerbait mean? It is when in movies or in TV shows they build some kind of tension between 2 characters of the same sex, so that queer people looking for representation will watch this thing thinking, look, it's people like me, I can identify, it's great, I can really see myself, this makes me feel good. And then they never make it canon, they never make the same-sex relationship happen because it's safer, and this entire method is just a disgusting way to get more views, and it's everywhere. It is everywhere, and like a lot of the shows that I watch, Supernatural, Destiel, it's never gonna happen, never gonna happen. Except we kind of know it's not gonna happen. For Johnlock, they built, since series 1, since the very first episode, they meet, Sherlock basically flirts with John to impress him, and then they go on a case, someone thinks they're on a date, Sherlock never corrects them, and then John basically flirts with Sherlock, like, you're unattached just like me. Like, what kind of hetero... It's not hetero. It's not heterosexual. There is no straight explanation to that. And they've been building that over and over since episode 1, and it is extremely disappointing if this thing has just been the biggest queerbait. It is especially disappointing coming from Mark Gatiss, one of the writers, who is a gay man. And like, how can you be gay and write such a huge queerbait? It is just absolutely mind-blowing and disgusting, and I don't know if I think it is a queerbait. I really don't know what to think about all that. Also, this episode has had a huge negative effect, especially near the end, the line, "Because I know what you really are and it doesn't matter." And a lot of queer people have taken that as your identity is not valid, it is not important, it is not something you should... Oh god, it has been so harmful, this episode, and this line especially has been extremely harmful. And that's not okay. slow burn relationships are not supposed to end up harming people. I mean, yesterday evening on Tumblr, there was the suicide hotlines going around because people were worried because such a harmful line. How could they write that? How could they put that in the episode? Third explanation, and the one I'm hoping for, is that there is some content missing. The reason for this explanation is that the entire episode, I mean the entire series, but especially the latest episode, just felt off. There was just things missing. Even, the end, it didn't feel like a Sherlock finale, because in the last episode of every Sherlock series, there's a cliffhanger, there's something that leaves you wanting for more. And here there's just a sort of kind of a roundup, but not like really a roundup. It's just kind of weird, kind of off. It doesn't feel right. And I sort of have too much faith into the Sherlock writers to think they could just leave things like that. And like so many loose ends and just so many things didn't feel right. This episode was just too weird to be all the content. It just felt off, basically. Also, like the entire marketing thing, like be part of making history. What kind of history are we talking about? This episode I just watched is not making history. It's an episode that isn't even that good. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it didn't really feel like a Sherlock episode, and didn't feel like a final episode of a series. And just, what kind of history? Like, Sherlock has a sister? Is that the history you're talking about? Also, they said that it was groundbreaking. That is not groundbreaking, that's just an episode. It's just, I know that in marketing they tend to exaggerate, and they tell the actors to exaggerate, and like it makes sense, but not to this extent. Just the way they marketed it just doesn't make sense at all. So one of the theories that you might have seen going around is that there could be a fourth episode, basically. One of the reasons is this line, people always stop counting after 3. Because they wouldn't have just put this line without anything else in mind. We all thought at first that it meant that Sherringford was a 4th sibling, but Sherringford is actually the island, so maybe this line refers to an episode. And, obviously Moffat has said that there wasn't a 4th episode, but all they do is lie. Like, they actually admitted that they lied to the audience to preserve the suspense or whatever. So that would be the best. And another reason there would be a 4th episode, okay, you might have heard of this. I hadn't heard of it until someone at the exit of the cinema told me. Yeah, because I paid to see that shit. The 3rd episode, The Final Problem, was leaked, and like they actually put a link on the BBC website to say do not look at this link. And like it was a leaked episode in HD, and like you can't find leaked episode in HD. When episodes are leaked by someone, they're just in really bad quality. So it has to be a marketing stunt, doesn't it? Because it was leaked in HD. Plus, BBC has apparently excellent teams to deal with leaked footage or whatever. I've heard that this one time there was a promo photo that was leaked, and like in under an hour you couldn't find a good quality version of that picture because the team had done such a great job at just deleting everything. So like a team that good would let an entire episode leak in HD? That is just weird. Everything about this episode is weird. In the episode and outside of the episode, in the whole marketing thing, and everything is off. It doesn't make sense. I'm really hoping that this third explanation is the right one, because I don't know. I'm just so conflicted and so confused and disappointed and angry, and I don't know what to think, because if I was sure it was queerbaiting, I would just swallow all my anger and use it in a productive way. If I was sure it wasn't queerbaiting, I would just keep on hoping and use that as my strength, and I just don't know. I just don't know what's going on, and I don't know if I can still hope or not, and that's the worst feeling. Something else I'd like to add. I am not mad because my OTP isn't canon, okay? I can deal with OTPs not being canon. I've been dealing with that for years. My problem with all that is that they've been putting hints in the show since the very beginning, and them not making it canon makes it queerbaiting, and queerbaiting is absolutely terrible, and it should be ended because it's the 21st century and it's a show written between other people by a gay man, and it's just making me angry. And also it's actually affecting people very negatively, because some people have been hoping and clinging onto that, waiting for their representation to come, for people to look and to act like them on TV, on their favorite show, a thing that the whole country, the whole world could see. And that would have been TV history for sure if they had made it obviously canon, and that would have made a huge difference, not only on TV but actually in history, because that's how you make the world of homophobia anyway evolve. And I mean, Moffat and Gatiss have actually talked about that. Like, they've actually said in panels that it is their role as TV show writers to put this representation in media. It's like, none of it makes sense, and I don't know if I can still trust anyone. And I know I'm strong, I know I can walk off that and be okay, but some people can't. And if this entire thing really was queerbaiting, I hope Moffat and Gatiss realise what they've done. I hope they realise the opportunity they missed. Last few notes. I want to thank Rebecca from TGLC Explained. If you watch this, thank you very much for all the work you put into your episodes. It was great, and thank you for giving us hope even though it didn't really happen. Even though I still have some kind of hope at the back of my brain, but still, thank you very much, and don't feel too bad. We all feel very disappointed about this entire thing, but none of it is your fault. Thank you still for all the work and all the hours you put into your channel. To anyone who might feel distressed by all this mess, I am here if you need to chat. All my social media are in the link below. You can come and chat, and what a mess. I shouldn't have to offer my help to distressed people after an episode of a TV show. It's not supposed to make people feel that bad. On the other hand, if you want to feel mad and sad and powerful, someone made a playlist called What the Hell Did We Just Watch, I think? No, What Did We Just Watch? Something like that. It's a playlist on Spotify, and it's just a ton of angry songs yelling fuck you. It is very great. If you are emotionally stable enough, I would recommend listening to that. If this entire thing really was queerbaiting, it is a terrible thing, and we shouldn't let ourselves be brought down by this. What I mean is, if these people that we trusted have messed up this entire thing, it is up to us and to our generation to actually do these things. So that means if you want to write a book with queer characters, do it. if you want to write a TV show, even just a web series, anything, if the older generation won't give us the representation we need, that means that we need to produce it for ourselves. And we can't give up hope. We just have to keep on working on that. And it sucks that it's our responsibility, but we can't just give up. And I know how awful it feels to have hoped and worked for people who wrote the metas and just waited for this representation that we craved, and it's not happening. And it's incredibly disappointing, and it makes us angry, and every one of these feelings is valid. And we shouldn't have to go through that. Use this anger and all of these feelings that you have inside of you and try to channel them into producing your own representation and your own good content. If people won't give it to us, we need to make it ourselves. That is just how it works. And it sucks that we have to do that. Thank you for watching this video. We'll see in the future what happens. I still can't decide which of these theories is true. I just hope that there's more. I really hope that there is some content that we don't have, because we deserve so much more. We don't deserve to be made to look crazy once again. We deserve more, and if they won't give it to us, we have to make it for ourselves. And if Sherlock the TV show is crap, let's make other things that are better and have more representation, and we can do so much better ourselves.